The Unwritten Bible, before Genesis, the story that was never written. You've heard it 1,000 times. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. But what if that wasn't the beginning? What if Genesis wasn't describing the start of everything, but only the start of this world? What came before the first verse? Before light, before darkness, before the void itself? Ancient civilizations believed they had answers, and for reasons we are still uncovering today, those answers were buried. Welcome to the Unwritten Bible, where we explore hidden stories, forgotten texts, and ancient truths history left behind. Today, we go before Genesis, before creation, before everything you were taught was the beginning. To understand what came before Genesis, you first need to understand something most people never question. To understand what came before Genesis, you first need to understand something most people never question. The Bible as we know it today was not always a single, fixed book. It was assembled, debated, and finalized. Over centuries, decisions were made. Some texts were included, many others were left out. But those lost writings didn't disappear. They survived, hidden in caves, buried in deserts, preserved in ancient libraries. And within those surviving texts is a very different picture of what existed before Genesis. Let's look closely at what Genesis actually says, and more importantly, what it doesn't. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. But then, the next line reveals something strange. The earth was formless and empty. Darkness covered the deep, and the Spirit of God hovered over the waters. Formless, empty, darkness, the deep waters. Think about that. Before light is created, something already exists. A void, a deep waters. The Hebrew word for the deep is ten, a term linked to chaos, to a primordial ocean, to something ancient. So, here's the question. If God created everything, where did that come from? In 1947, a shepherd discovered a cave near the Dead Sea. Inside were ancient scrolls, over 2,000 years old. The Dead Sea Scrolls. Among them were fragments of a book removed from the Bible long ago, a book once considered sacred, the Book of Enoch. And in its pages, we find something extraordinary, a description of a time before Genesis, a world not empty, but filled with ancient beings, cosmic forces, and a reality that already existed. According to Enoch, creation was not from nothing, but from something that came before. Even early Christian scholars believed this. Origen, one of the most influential thinkers of the early church, taught that existence did not begin with Genesis, that souls and realities existed before the physical world. His ideas were later condemned. His writings were partially destroyed, but not completely. In 1945, another discovery was made, this time in Egypt. Buried in the sands of Nag Hammadi, a sealed jar containing ancient texts was uncovered. Inside were lost gospels, hidden for over 1,600 years. One of them, the secret book of John. It describes a reality before Genesis, beyond anything most people have ever heard. A realm called the Pleroma, a place of pure spirit, perfect existence, and divine consciousness. According to this text, the physical world was not created by the highest God, but by a lesser being, a creator working with chaos, not fully understanding it. These ideas were labeled dangerous. They were banned, burned, erased from history, but they survived, hidden, waiting to be found. And it wasn't just fringe groups who believed this. Some of the earliest Christian thinkers did too. Clement of Alexandria wrote of truths that existed before creation. Justin Martyr described God as shaping pre-existing matter, not creating from absolute nothing. Even ancient myths echo this idea. Long before Genesis was written, the Babylonians told a story called the Enuma. In it, the world is formed from a chaotic ocean, a being of the deep. The word town and the name Tiamat share the same ancient root. Is that a coincidence, or a memory of something far older than recorded history? The truth is, we don't fully know, And that uncertainty is what makes this mystery so powerful. So, what do we actually know? When we examine all the evidence, the Bible, ancient scrolls, lost gospels, early church writings, and ancient myths, one idea keeps appearing. Before Genesis, there was something. The deep, the void, the waters, the fullness, the chaos. Whatever it was not nothing. And even within the Bible itself, there are hints. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. It doesn't say the Word was created. It says it already was. Maybe Genesis was never meant to tell the whole story, only the part we were meant to hear. The story before Genesis was never fully written. That is why it was buried, hidden in caves, sealed away in clay jars, locked behind monastery walls, and scattered across forgotten deserts, silenced but never erased, because ideas do not die easily. They are not like objects that decay or disappear. They survive in fragments, in contradictions, in texts that do not fully match the official story. And sometimes they survive in the very things people tried hardest to destroy. And now, after centuries of concealment, those fragments are beginning to surface again, piece by piece, layer by layer, across languages, cultures, and civilizations that should not have shared the same vision. A pattern is forming, not of confusion, but of something consistent, something old, something intentional, something that feels like memory more than myth. And the deeper we go, the more unsettling it becomes, because Genesis, as powerful as it is, begins to look less like the beginning of everything, and more like a carefully framed opening to a much larger and older narrative, a narrative that was narrowed down, edited through time, preserved through selection, and shaped by councils that decided not just what was true, but what people were allowed to carry forward as truth. And when you step outside that frame, you start to see how many other voices once existed. Voices from the Dead Sea Scrolls, voices from forgotten apocalyptic texts, voices from early Christian thinkers who did not all agree on what creation actually meant. Some spoke of pre-existing realms. Some spoke of divine order before matter. Some spoke of chaos that already existed, waiting to be shaped. And others spoke of beings that moved between those layers of reality, beings that were not part of the human story, but intersected with it. In the next episode, we go deeper into that intersection, into the ancient world before creation is usually said to begin. Not just reading Genesis, but reading what surrounds it, what contradicts it, what echoes it in different forms across time. We enter the world described in the Book of Enoch, a text that speaks with unusual detail about beings known as the Watchers, not symbolic figures, not poetic metaphors, but described as real entities that crossed into human history. They are said to have observed humanity from above, and then descended. And once they descended, the narrative of humanity changed. Knowledge entered the world in ways it was not prepared for. Boundaries were crossed, rules were broken, and consequences followed that ancient texts describe with a seriousness that is hard to ignore. But the Watchers are not just a story on their own. They appear as part of a wider pattern found across ancient civilizations. Different names, different cultures, different languages, yet similar themes. Beings descending, knowledge being transferred, civilizations remembering something they were not supposed to know. So the question begins to grow heavier. Who were the Watchers really? Are they purely myth, shaped by imagination and fear? Or are they reflections of something older, something experienced, something remembered in fragments across time? Where did they come from? And why do so many ancient writings describe them with such consistency, even ones separated by geography and centuries? And beneath all that, the most uncomfortable question remains. Why was their story removed, reduced, or hidden from the main narrative? And who made the decision that humanity should only keep one version of events? Because when you follow these threads far enough, you begin to realize something important. History is not just what was recorded, it is also what was left out, And what was left out often tells a different kind of truth. Subscribe to the Unwritten Bible, because what comes next does not simply add to the story, it challenges the foundation of how the story was told in the first place. And trust me, you are not ready for what comes next.